Hello everybody, welcome back to another video where I talk over a game, and today I sound different because I had this idea while I was on the road, so I'm literally just recording this on the phone. I'm sitting in a parking lot, and I'm kind of dreading looking at my phone. Not that there's anything in particular going on today, but it's more like over the last few months, the whole thing with my brother's passing away, of course, has been going on, and that means that there's a lot of things that need to be taken care of. And I hired somebody to take care of most of the official administration for me because it's just too much for me to handle. I have my executive function disorder and all that sort of thing. I get super stressed out. And whenever I need to do stuff, I already had a bunch of stuff that I needed to do for my dad's estate. Fortunately, my dad did not have a lot of things that needed to be done because he had been in a care home for about 2.5 years by the time he passed away. So he didn't have a car, didn't have a house. There were no rentals anywhere. So with him, it was mostly just looking to see if he had any debts anywhere. Fortunately, there were some websites where I could request such information. Now that, of course, already took quite a lot out of me because you have to get a bunch of administration done anyway. You have to submit documents to the courts and all that sort of thing. And they need to scan all that stuff and email it to all these different places to prove that you are actually who you say you are and that you're related to this person who's passed away. You need to provide proof of that as well. That took me several months as well. And that was just with him having nothing for me to really take care of other than to check if he had any debts. And then I had to submit all of that. And then they approved that we would handle the estate in his name, etc., which wasn't a lot. There was just a bank account with some stuff on there. And other than that, he had no debts, fortunately, only a few bills to pay, and that was it, basically. Then I had to do the income tax the next year because that also needs to happen if you die somewhere within the year, which is likely for most people. Whatever part of the year you were still alive, you have to actually put some income tax stuff in for that. That was also very stressful, but fortunately, the tax department, I guess you could call that, has most of your information anyway, and they also had a lot of information on him as well. And basically all I had to do was check to see if the numbers didn't look crazy out of whack, and they didn't. So I was like, okay, I'll submit that, and they haven't complained about it since, because honestly I didn't really have a lot of information about him anyway, but there wasn't a lot to have information on. So I figured, well, it looks good to me, these numbers seem to make sense, submit it, and done. So that was that. But of course, with my brother, there is the whole apartment, and there is the car. There are some debts there, and I had somebody else take care of that for me. At least it's still going on, but they're like looking at all the administration and all the court stuff. And they unfortunately have the habit of sending me an email for everything. And now when I look at my email and I see it's one of theirs, I like immediately get stressed, and I have to take a moment to go, okay, I'll take a look at this tomorrow morning. Like, I'm not going to look at it now because it's not supposed to be urgent, but right now it's just draining my energy looking at it. I'll look at it in the morning, and then when I'm feeling up to it, usually about 10 a.m., that's when I have the most energy, apparently. I go, okay, I'll take a look. And then it's like, okay, it's just a little bit of information about this. It's a bit of information about that. I see I have to answer a question. Okay, I'll do that. Tap away at my phone, send it, done. And then there's this immediate sense of, okay, great, that's taken care of. That sense of relief that that's been done and dealt with. Until the next time she sends me a bunch of emails. And also, the other day, she starts sending me WhatsApp messages as well. So now there's 2 channels through which she can send me messages and get me stressed out. Because it feels really urgent whenever I get a message. Like they're standing right in my face, yelling at me that I need to do things. You need to have this information ready for me. You need to do stuff like that there. You need to drive over to this place and do that thing. And I'm repeating myself. But basically, it just feels very urgent, and I need to do things right now, like that type of thing. Which I know technically is not the actual case, but that's just how it feels. And we've now got a real estate agent that we're going to work with in order to get the apartment sold. And we've also got the door that needs fixing because, of course, when they went to see what was going on with him, they had to take the door out. The door can't close because they went and made sure that the evening of, they can't leave the door open like that. So they get a locksmith in and they do some quick patches. But of course, if you want to sell the apartment, you do need to have a functional door in there. I mean, it functions, but it doesn't look good like that. So need to take care of that as well. And then there is the whole thing, like once it gets sold, you have to go to a notary and then things have to be signed. There has to be this official moment where you sign the, I guess, mortgage and stuff like that. And just the sale has to be approved. Also love that I'm recording this in a parking lot, and both cars on either side had people show up and like do stuff and then they have to drive off. And I understand that that's like normal fact of life, but I really hate recording things in public. Anyway, so both cars on either side are gone now. Great. Now, anyway, so that's something that needs to happen. And I'm wondering if I have to bring my mother over for that event as well, because as you know, or maybe you don't, she's got all sorts of memory issues and she lives an hour and a half down the road from me. And probably the signing of the document will be in my hometown. I don't want her driving. She can't actually drive because the car that she currently has is an automatic and she's not used to automatic. She used to have one, but she has no idea how that works anymore. I don't want her husband to drive her either because he is on meds with a yellow label on the box, meaning that he shouldn't be driving. Meaning if she does need to be present for the signing of the whole sale, because she is part owner of the apartment right now, that means I'd have to go get her and then have to drive her back over here. And then when everything is said and done, I have to drive her back home. So I would be on the road for, 4.5 hours just for her to put a signature for a half an hour event. So I'm hoping that that is not needed and that the person who is taking care of the business, who can actually sign things on our behalf, is going to take care of that. Otherwise, it's going to be a really annoying day and I really don't want to have to go through that. But we'll see when we get there. That's also stressing me out. Oh my God, all these people walking around stressing me out even more. Anyway, so that is draining my energy without it even being current. It's not even that day yet. We'll have to wait and see. But that is something with, I guess, I don't know if that's an executive dysfunction thing. I think it is. It's kind of like shirking up against it. It's something that needs to be done and it's draining my energy even though we're not actually doing it. I have to wait and see what happens. And maybe it won't even be that big of a deal. Maybe she can actually sign it digitally. Maybe the person who's taking care of the estate, can sign it on our behalf because she's also taking care of all the administration and the sale, like she is the contact for that as well. I don't know. She was able to do most other things on our behalf, so maybe she won't even need us to be there. That would be the best case scenario. We'll see about that bridge when we get there, I suppose. For now, I'm going to get out of here because there's constantly people walking around and they're stressing me out even more. But let me know in the comment section what you think about this topic. Is this something that you deal with? And how do you deal with it? And I hopefully will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching / listening, and I'll see you next time.